Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years.
Together they have, and together they stand alone on top of the mountain for now. And once again, the Boston Celtics stand alone for all time. It is banner 18.
No icing. For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And a title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome into episode 30 of a New Era podcast. My name is Hanson, better known as Fryddy Online, and I am joined this morning with my co-host, my dad, the OG Frid. Dad, would you like to say hello to the listeners?
First and foremost, I gotta love that intro there. 30 episodes. Who would have ever thunk we could have done 30?
And B?
2, B, you said I'm your co-host.
Yeah, well,
So
you bitch and complain so much about this shit sometimes that I'm just like, all right, let me switch it up, I guess. I was thinking about that last night. I had something else I was going to say, but then I forgot. I can't remember. I don't know. I was planning out the whole episode in my head last night as I was going to bed, and it just didn't translate.
Yeah.
Especially because of our tech issues and stuff this morning. But
Yeah, a lot of, we'll say if by any chance, if it doesn't,
if it cuts out, they won't hear it. Yeah.
They won't hear it, and we'll do it tomorrow. But I got a little Spectrum outage issue where I live, so who knows. But I mean, good morning, Hanson. Good morning, listeners. We have, as you said, 30 episodes, over 600 downloads. You people are listening to us. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. It's very awesome to make it to 30. Crazy that it's already been 30. 30 episodes. When we really started this at the end of January, and we have just went 30 straight weeks, haven't we? I don't think we missed one.
Yeah, I thought you said we might take a little break, but I was thinking about this. So your sister and I were having a conversation, and she was like, oh, you know how the week kind of flew last week, and she's hoping that the weekend doesn't go by so fast. And I think this weekend kind of went by kind of fast, at least personally. We're doing a lot of stuff, but I kind of, though, felt, I don't know, Saturday or into Sunday, I was like, it felt like forever since we did the last episode. I can't wait to get back on and talk sports.
It's only a week. Calm down there.
No, I know, but it felt forever since when we did episode.
I know
29,
it did feel longer. I understand you there. Well, all right. Let's go over what happened in the world of sports this week. The Olympics are on in Paris.
Olympics.
I figure let's start out with this now because it is the biggest thing in the world that all of the countries are paying attention to right now. Well, I'm not really paying attention. I'm watching if it's like available. Like if I'm not doing anything and something that I want to watch is on, like if it's like fencing, I'm not watching fencing. But
I watched a little kayak yesterday.
Yeah, see, that doesn't do it for me. That doesn't push the bell.
This is in years past, winter and summer Olympics, I was more tuned into, or we were watching, like the swimming or the gymnastics, or again, track and field will be obviously later this week, probably starting up. But I've been watching like the odd sports. I did they did some little cycling. I watched, not the horses, weren't into equestrian, weren't into that. Watched rugby. This was odd. Like the Olympics hadn't even started, and yet you're already into the semis for rugby.
Technically, they start Like
Yeah,
last Wednesday, or you're just talking about the opening ceremony?
The opening ceremony, yeah.
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 Oh,
Do we even? Like that?
No, let's leave that.
I didn't watch it. Why?
I didn't either. But there's a whole lot of people were fucking pissed about the opening ceremony on Twitter and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently there was a whole lot of stuff. I don't know. Not our place. I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But and neither of you. I thought you maybe did and knew, but I don't know.
No, all I know is that I watched, I think Sunday or Saturday morning, and NBC was talking. They had the lady that does the broadcasting for the Premier League and some other dude who I think was soccer as well, but they were talking about the ceremonies and how they thought it was pretty cool that people were coming down on the boats, although I heard France had the freaking yacht and everyone else had little boats on, but Zidane, he lit the torch at the end. They said they really like Celine Dion's little song at the end.
Nice, I guess. I don't know.
They were kind of bummed it was in the rain, but what have you heard on Twitter?
Just a lot of people were pissed about it because there was a lot of stuff going on. I guess. I don't know. Like literally, I just saw a bunch of people being like, "This shit's stupid." I'm like, "The fuck could they have done?" It's an Olympic opening ceremony, but apparently very controversial.
I might have to read Twitter about that.
Hey, you might have to. U.S. has the most medals right now.
Yep.
12.
Yep.
3 golds, 2 in swimming, 1 in fencing. I was just saying I wasn't watching fencing. 6 silver and 3 bronze. We are... So I think they order these just by golds. So China is first.
Yeah, China's on top.
2 in diving, 3 in shooting.
Yeah.
And then Japan with 4. 1 in fencing, 2 in judo, 1 in skateboarding. That's so... I would not expect Japan to win gold in skateboarding.
Oh, yeah, they're big in that right now.
I guess so.
From time to time I watch the X Games and they always have a Japanese kid.
Nice. How long do these things actually go for? Like another
week, I think. Or no, I think
week and a half.
11th,
well, 2 weeks. It is August 11th. I'm seeing that here. We got a lot of shit going on, like just right now. I think. Am I looking at this right? I don't know how the schedule works. I don't know if it's in like local time or in like French time. I think this is local. There's some tennis going on right now. There's some skateboarding. The men's street prelims.
That is supposed to be breakdancing.
No, it says skateboarding.
Oh,
maybe they're breakdancing on the skateboards.
They actually have breakdancing this year.
Yeah, I did see that was a new one. The Olympics are funny, man. The one thing I have been watching, if anything, has been the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Greece and Canada on Saturday, midway through the day, with Will. He came over and I was like, man, these baseball games suck. These day baseball games. I was like, dude, what do we got to bet on in the Olympics? And we pull it up, and Greece and Canada are about to start the 4th. And I was like, dude, Greece at plus 700 live money line. And he was like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's ride with Giannis. So they ended up losing the game. They made it really, really close, though. We had wrote it off with like 6 minutes to go. So we're both just sitting there, just scrolling Twitter. And like, we heard the game getting close. But since we had money on it, neither one of us wanted to be the first one to admit to the other that they were making a comeback. So I was just kind of on my phone. I was like,
looking at the screen.
Like a bucket there. And I'm like, it's a 4-point game, but I don't believe yet. Well, it's a 2-point game. And then at a certain point, it's a 2-point game. And he looks at me and he's just like, all right, bro, we got a game. I was like, oh, nice. All right, let's lock in here a little bit. They ended up losing. But then I was going to do the same with the U.S. game yesterday. Good thing I didn't, though, because I was going to take live spread of Serbia plus 16.5. And U.S. went out there and did what we've been expecting them to do, even throughout all the the prelims or whatever they do for basketball, the early games.
They're in group play right now.
But that one yesterday was their actual first one. Like they had 2 warm-up games or whatever it was. And they won pretty handedly. God damn, they started freaking stuff at 2:30. I forget, they're 5 hours ahead.
Yeah.
What was the score I'm looking at for this basketball one again?
114-89 or something. I
think it was
21.
It was an ass whooping. Where is this thing?
The weird thing is, so I think there was
110-84.
Yep. There was 19 seconds left, and the commentator said they have to move and shoot. Like, you can't just, like an NBA or whatever, just, 19 seconds, you got a 24-second clock, just hold it off. But they were like,
can't just wait it out?
No, they had to go, I guess. And I think Drew hit a 3-pointer there at the end.
I thought it was Steph.
Steph? Yeah, it was Steph. That's right, because then he was
he was dancing.
He was dancing.
Well, I mean, good 26-point win, but what the fuck, Steve Kerr? Why is a top 5 player in the NBA, back-to-back first team All-NBA, defending NBA champion, arguably one of the best players on this roster, not touching the court at all in your first Olympic game? Celtics Twitter was having a ball with this one. With Tatum being on the bench all game, because the only thing I kept seeing was they were like, Steve Kerr might legitimately be still salty from when the Celtics beat the Warriors 140-88 in the regular season. That's literally the only thing I could think of, because there was times even, where was it? I think it was after the game, but Gary Washburn apparently asked Tatum, he was like, hey, like, are you sick? Like, and Tatum was like, no, I'm good. Like, he was fine. And then Steve Kerr came out afterwards. After the game, he was asked about Tatum, and he was like, yeah, no, he was just a straight up did not play, coach's decision. Steve Kerr said he handled it really well. I talked to him before the game that it may play out this way with Kevin coming back. Jason's going to play. I felt like an idiot not playing him. Well, good for you, because you are an idiot. Why the fuck is Devin Booker higher in the pecking order than Jason? I just want to know. And if this is what's going to happen too, I saw a lot of people calling for Tatum that, hey, fuck it. If they think they can do it without you, man. If they're going to give Devin Booker fucking 25 minutes, don't play in 2028. If you win an NBA championship, if you go back-to-back first-team All-NBA teams, selections there, and you're not touching the floor in a 26-point win versus Serbia in the first game of group play, how the fuck did you come out here?
So, just playing counterpoint, devil's advocate, obviously you're putting Devin Booker in because, I mean, I know Jason can play the two, but I think you have many guards on this roster. It was interesting that Drew got a lot of run with the first, if you will, the first team.
Drew started.
Kevin, I mean, all like leading up, he wasn't playing, he wasn't shooting, he was this and that. And, is Steve going, I know Kevin is really upset at Phoenix and we'd love to get him back here in Golden State. Let's play him. It was kind of also bad that I thought that LeBron had his in that. I mean, they handedly had it, and they still ran with those guys with LeBron. I think trying to record a triple double, which he did not. But is it? You know, the broadcasts were just saying Steve, and they were blowing smoke up Steve's butt there. But I think he's like, oh, he's just trying to get, you know, the rotations and the team. But, you know, if any,
I mean, how do you get the rotations without playing all the players? I get this is a stacked roster. I get this is the best U.S. basketball team we've seen since 2008. We all know that. But you have a plethora of NBA talent. If you're truly testing the rotations, you should test everybody. There could be a better five with Tatum in it that you didn't have starting this game.
Absolutely.
He went.
If you're running LeBron with all those minutes in your first game and Kevin, I mean, I don't think
Kevin's been hurt. You don't. Yeah, I get he was hot, but like we were up. You don't play him as much. LeBron too. He's fucking 39. We're gonna need him for a gold medal game. You know, for LeBron to take over and do LeBron things. Don't fucking play him.
Right. No, I agree. And I'm just wondering if Steve is just, if the inmates are running the asylum.
I don't know. Somebody makes a good point here on Twitter saying Tatum went from the number 2 option in the 2020 Olympics to a do not play. Yes, granted, his teammates in 2020 Olympics were much worse, but this person says his teammates in the 2020 Olympics are much worse than his 2024 Olympic teammates. He doesn't deserve more than 8 minutes a game. At 8 minutes a game. At Kolbs32 on Twitter with the dumbass of the day remark right there.
Yeah.
More than 8 minutes a game is that's crazy. Okay. Yeah, I just think it's stupid. And it sucks because this is what all the Tatum haters are waiting for right here. They just came out in fucking waves yesterday. Oh, you can't even get minutes on the fucking Olympic team. Yeah, dude, because it's the best roster we've ever seen. And Steve Kerr's an idiot. And okay, and like even more to the point, you know, no disrespect to D. White. We love D. White. But Derek White had 15 minutes yesterday. And Jason Tatum did not touch the floor. What are we doing? What are we doing?
And, you know, it's a shame because, I mean, the court size is the court size, but your interior box is larger. Things are different. I mean, you got to get these guys time to understand the international game versus the NBA.
Yeah,
I mean, what's going to happen is in 3 games from now, Joel Embiid is going to nearly foul out, and now you're going to have to throw Tatum in, and he's like, "Oh, this is my first game in 3 games." You know, I'm
pretty sure Embiid already fucking sucked yesterday.
Yeah.
I know it's just interesting. Yeah, and you saying, yeah, you're just going to throw him in there. It's like you want to get these minutes and these rotations down against these guys like Serbia who only have Nikola Jokic and Bogdanovic. Like, we're going to have to play Canada to get out of this group stage. That's going to be the game.
Yep.
And you don't want, like, granted, yes, we still are a good level or two above the Canada team, but that's a good Canada team. That's a good Canada roster. And you don't want Tatum to fucking have to figure out Olympic basketball at the wrong time against that team to get out of the, well, it's not going to be to get out of the group play. We're both going to get out of group play. But, you know, to go out there and try to win a game, it's opening up more opportunity for that to happen. And then the fucking media agenda just to tear down Tatum if he has one bad game. And it's like, oh, well, this is why he didn't get minutes. Like, I see it happening. You know, it sounds very far-fetched, but the public agenda to fucking discredit the Celtics and everything, even after this whole year with, Jaylen Brown not making it and Grant Hill thinking that he's a fucking cornball and a drama queen, and now Jason Tatum being benched for the whole first game, and still can't keep down the champs, but it is frustrating because it's not like, he didn't play his ass off all year and prove that he was a top 5 player in the NBA. I don't know.
So we've been watching a lot of women's soccer, and they put up a great showing against Germany, and which at this point against Australia, I mean, they can draw and they still win, and then seed against, I was really listening a lot. So if they win, then I guess they get number 2 in Group C, which is going to be easier because if you are in second, then you have to go up against like the winner of Group D or whatever, and it could be France. I mean, you got to position yourself to win, or if you are going to get in second, if we somehow lose to, say, Canada, and now you're the second team, then you got to play the top of something else.
Mm-hmm.
And is that going to be as easy? And maybe they're doing all the little calculations and figuring and going, if we end up, this is the first game, but if you end up being in second, now you're seated against the first place A, which could be, Lithuania or whatever,
Lithuania?
Well, I just threw that out.
Lithuania, but you tried to combine waffle and Lithuania.
Yeah. I was just thinking a bunch of weird ass countries. But maybe that's going to be an easier game getting into the medal round portion. I don't know, but
I mean, sure, but I don't think there's a harder threat to us outside of Canada. I think that's it. That's the second best team. I mean, you can always try to rely on the Serbias and the Greece because they also have one of the world's best basketball players in Jokic and Giannis. Spain. Spain is good, but at the end of the day, man, we are leaps and bounds above these teams, and we should have been able to get Tatum out there and just play with our food a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a lot of games and stuff to go on this week. I'm sure we'll give another update and medal update about the Olympics next week because we still got it for a while. It is a cool thing to have on that, there's always some sport on, even if you don't want to watch it. It's always there.
It's always there. At least, we got sports. I mean, I heard part of my take was mentioning the Open and how it's kind of cool that you wake up and, it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and you can watch golf.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same. It's March Madness, now where you can wake up in the morning and just flip on the TV and watch some sport.
Yeah.
If you're sports crazy like we are.
Exactly. All right, moving on. We got to talk about it. Terrible week from the Red Sox.
Terrible week.
What did we say? 4-2, 5-1 if we wanted. We flipped that. We went 2-4. Just terrible week from the Sox here. I guess the only thing to look forward to here is that the trade deadline is at 4:00 today. We did make some moves though. Let me go find wherever that was. They haven't been big ones, but 2 moves so far. Got James Paxton back. Acquired him from the Dodgers on, I think, Friday. And we got Danny Jansen as a backup catcher from the Toronto Blue Jays.
Rest in peace, Reese McGuire.
Yeah, the guy that jerks off in a freaking grocery store parking lot. Did you see that whole thing?
God, no.
Okay, all right, hold on. So,
is that why he's designated for assignments?
Hold on.
Holy crap!
So,
this just took a turn.
How do I get into this? So did you see on, I think it was like Wednesday in the last game against the Rockies, or it was the second game when the bench is cleared?
Mm-hmm.
So Reese was up to bat, and Cal Quantrill, I think, was the pitcher for the Rockies at that point. And so I didn't know this whole thing about Reese McGuire. I think I had heard it like a couple months ago, but it just completely fell out of my head.
Yeah.
So
good.
He fucking, I don't know if he threw at him or something. Or no, he got a hit. Reese McGuire, I think he smacked some shit. And so he starts walking the first. And Cal's like walking almost up to him. Not really like up the line, but he's definitely talking his shit. Mm-hmm. And they showed a camera angle that I guess like the Colorado broadcast had that you could clearly see Cal Quantrill saying to Reese on his way to first, yeah, that's why you jacked off in a fucking grocery store parking lot, you weirdo. So then, obviously, as the sports analysts that we are, I had to look at what the fuck was this about. So I was like, Reese McGuire, grocery store parking lot or whatever. And it was true. There was a thing that came out a couple months ago, I guess. I think it was in the offseason, that he got arrested for, getting to some sweet nothings in a parking lot. And so I was like, what the fuck? And then it turns out a couple days later, it's just a bad week for him, man. He gets called out on the field
on TV
for that, on TV about that. And then like 4 days later, he gets DFA'd. Like what a terrible week for Reese McGuire.
Yeah.
But from all that we've said, I mean, at least the last couple weeks, we weren't really like holding on to Reese too much. I think we were under the impression going into like the playoffs that it was going to be, all right, well, Reese is going to go down and we'll bring up a Kyle Teal. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that. It was he gets DFA'd and we go after Danny Jansen, who, he'll
be able to obviously spill Connor Wong, but I think going into the season, obviously Connor was above, but Reese actually caught, like last year and whatnot, a good amount of games. And I think obviously right now they're putting all the cards into Connor or a Connor / Kyle Teal for next year. And yeah, Danny will be serviceable to catch that fifth game or whatever.
Yeah. I was actually wrong about the deadline. It's tomorrow at 6, by the way.
Right. But now you got a new battery mate coming in and we're in the playoff hunt.
Yeah. But I still don't get this move. I don't know. It might just be just something that I just don't get now, and hopefully he's going to be good. We did end up giving like 3 prospects in this trade. Now, they were pretty deep in the farm. I don't think they're going to hurt us too bad. But it's like, 3 fucking guys for Danny Jansen? Yeah. Like it's one of the, I hope.
Especially when you have Kyle Teal ready to go for next year.
Yeah. I hope Craig's got something that he's thinking of here. But I guess the one good part that comes out of this is now I'd know for sure that the Blue Jays are waving the white flag. It's one last team that we're going to have to worry about in the AL East. Tampa Bay also traded Isaac Paredes to the Cubs. I sound like you right now, fucking up these names. No, they got a pretty good return for it, so I don't know if that was like throw up the white flag move or if it was just a, hey, let's retool.
Yeah.
But they definitely did move somebody. I hope there's more from us, though. If we come out of this and the Red Sox fans are like, nice, we made some moves at the deadline, I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, dude, we got James Paxton, who's, I swear to God, 57 years old, and Danny Jansen, and that's going to push us above the Royals and the Twins to get into the wild card? I don't think so. Now, I know we've talked about we're getting fucking Cassius is going to be almost like a trade deadline acquisition, but at this point, too,
assignment next week. Yep.
Oh, he is?
Yep.
Okay. But at this point, too, we don't know if he's going to get here before September. So it's like, I don't know. How did Danny do last night? Because I think he made his debut. Let's see. 2 for 3. 2 for 3 with a walk. He is still hitting .219 on the season. Not bad in his debut. We'll see if it continues. We'll see how, I guess, they continue to fill out the starting roster. If it's going to be more of a Danny or more of a Connor thing for the rest of the year, or at least for the next 2 weeks to really get a feel for what we're going to do. And hopefully we just make.
I think it was surprising that you call up or you get Danny in this trade, and then your debut, you end up DHing him, which, God forbid, something happened to Connor.
Yeah, that wasn't a smart move.
Yeah.
Because then you, I mean, yeah, you could have put Danny back there, but then you're forfeiting your DH, and your pitcher has to hit the rest of the game. I don't know. Let's look ahead at this week because we need to bounce back more than ever. We start off a 3-game set at home against the Mariners today until Wednesday. We have an off day, and then we play 3 against the Rangers in Texas. If the Red Sox know what's good for them, they need a 5-1 week. Yeah. They need to bounce back from last week because they can't continue to have another week like this last one and hope to stick around in this wild card, even though next week's first series is against the Royals, but it's in Kansas City. So you got to make up some games here going into that series against Kansas City to position yourself for a good push for the rest of the year. Because I'm looking at this August schedule. It's not too terrible. But you do have 2 series against the Rangers. You got 2 against the Astros, 1 against the O's, 1 against the D-backs, 1 against the Blue Jays, and you start 1 against the Tigers. So it's not a terrible month, but need to make it happen now because in September, you got all your AL East opponents. You got the White Sox, Mets, Twins, which we already talked about a couple weeks ago. Twins at the end of the year. That might be the wild card series. And then Toronto and Tampa to end off the year. So,
and I'm looking here at the American League. I mean, yes, Tampa Bay is 2 games behind us for the third, but really only 1 win away at this point.
Yep.
Now,
so
let me paint a rosy little picture here. The only thing that I'm not terribly concerned about at this point is that we're still 30-22 away from Fenway. And if we do end up in the wild card and get into the playoffs, we're going to be on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is nice. That is encouraging. Say if I think we can, we were floating the idea at the All-Star break, but I think we know now we're probably not going to win this division. We needed a good week last week to stay in and not to lose the series to the Yankees here. So yes, we will be on the road. It's just a matter now of first off getting into that wild card above one of those other teams, and then once we get to the end of the year, if we have the flexibility in the schedule, it's all right. Let's win games or lose games to position ourselves for the best first round matchup. Well, actually, it wouldn't matter because we would be in the. I think one seed just gets a bye completely. There's 2 wild card games. I don't know. I can't remember the MLB playoffs right now, but we're gonna play another wild card team to start anyways. So it's just a matter of, I guess, yeah, it would be nice to be home, but if we're with a team that's this good on the road, it's like, all right, well, if we don't host the series, at least we know we can still compete.
Yeah. That's what I'm at least shining a little rosy picture.
All right. So we say we need a 5-1, but what do you see this week? Mariners, Rangers.
I really hate to say it, but at this point, I mean, we came off the All-Star break last week, the week before, a little bit of a surprise, I think, the way that we played against the Dodgers and all. But I'm going to say we're going to go 300 right now. I think we're going to be in that 300 type.
300? You mean 500?
500.
Yeah.
We're going to be in that
Holy
500.
not.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. We're going to be in that 500 kind of pattern for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't want to. It might push us farther away from this wild card, but I guess if we continue to go 500, it's got to beat the teams that are close or ahead of us, which won't really matter until the 5th when we start that series against the Royals. So 500 this week. Let's hope it's better, but we'll see. If they know what's good for them, man, they're going to turn it around, though. And I think they will. Especially because last bit of Red Sox news, we did get an Alex Cora extension this last week for 3 years. He will be our manager throughout 2027, I believe, which is great stuff because I don't think either of us wanted Alex Cora gone. I don't think we wanted to go through the whole charade of trying to find a new manager. I would have been very mad if Alex Cora was not re-signed. I want Cora to be here for a while. I honestly wanted it to be more than 3 years, but I guess they are doing that, positioning it along with, as we've looked at, the schedule the contract makes sense because it's one of those in 2027. We've projected some of those guys like Roman Anthony and Kyle Tier and Marcelo Mayer. Oh my God, Marcelo Mayer to get up by 2026. So you would then have 2 years. You have this one or whatever, this next upcoming one, and then you'll have 2 years with the guys in the system that, they are really trying to build around. And then you see, can Alex do it with these younger guys? If he can't, you try to audible to a new Veritek manager. Yeah, probably Veritek. I would hope, but I also just don't hope Cora loses the job. So we'll see. I see why the contract was played out that way, though.
I think more it's not the Red Sox management and ownership. I think it's probably more Alex in saying, I don't want a long 5-year. Let's go 3 because at that point, we have, as you said, the young talent. Do we make a run in 27, win maybe even a World Series? Wow. And then he walks away. I think he would be happy at that point to walk away.
And you got to think about it. That's crazy at that point. Because did he win? Was his first year 2018 when we won? Or was he there a year before?
No,
I think it was.
Remember, because then he was in trouble and we didn't have him, and then he came back or something.
Yeah. So, by 2027, that's going to be like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. I mean, I think feels like he was just tired like yesterday. Yeah, all right, that is a good out. We'll see, though. I mean, we don't have to worry about that for the next 3 years. So, all right. Okay, I said that was the last thing about the Red Sox, but I found this tweet that I sent to you too. It's just more love for Jarren Duran. It's our weekly. We love Jarren Duran.
Yeah.
This was
speaking of that, before you jump at the tweet, he went 0 for 4 yesterday, and we lost. Jaron is our absolute spark plug, I think, to us winning. May it be, a walk or a hit or whatever, and then just, his double, and then he makes his team go. So if he has a performance where he goes 0 and 4, which again, I mean, the kid can't, he's going to have those games. And he has not hit well against the Yankees. But, because I think he's batting 237, 14 strikeouts, 667 OPS or something. So nothing spectacular, but he is such the spark plug for us to win a game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it starts off with you being the leadoff guy, obviously. So where is this? Can I see it here? I'm not even looking for it here. Baseball Savant, great analytical site. On the 24th, so 5 days ago, this guy tweeted out, Jarren Duran was one good offensive day away from being in the 90-90-90 Savant Club, a club that only this year currently had Bobby Witt Jr. He was one of just 3 members in the 85-85-85 Savant Club alongside Bobby Witt and Bryce Harper. When I talk about these numbers, it is the Baseball Savant's batting run value, base running run value, and fielding run value. On the 25th, after one good offensive day, he did get there. He is in the 90-90-90 Savant Club along with only Bobby Witt. His batting run value was at 90, which is right at the great line. Base running run value at 100, and fielding run value at 92. His fielding is the 7th highest. His base running run value is the 4th highest, and his batting run value is the 19th highest. So that's pretty good company to be in. I would love to see where it's at now. I don't know how to find that site that he found, but good stuff, Duran. I mean, we'll continue to love on Jarren Duran, and I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that the AL just has such good players, I mean, in any fucking other year, man, you're talking about him potentially in the MVP race.
Oh yeah. And yet, unfortunately, again, when you're stacking up center fielders in our division, it's amazing for me to just see Aaron Judge, a huge man, playing center field and playing it well, and then him just batting wise.
For sure. All right, now I'm actually done with the Red Sox. Do you have anything?
No, just Greg, please make some type of medium
Make a splash.
Make a medium at best splash.
Yeah, by tomorrow. You got a day and a half still.
And don't give up anybody that
don't give up the big 3.
Yeah.
That's it. You could probably move anybody else. Don't give up the big 3. Well, actually, I'll say big 4 now. We'll also throw Braden Montgomery in there. He should be untouchable as well. All right. Football's right around the corner. Football. Patriots started up training camp this week along with all the other NFL teams. And oh man, am I excited. I wish this was an easier freaking article. 5 players open training camp on the physically unable to perform or non-football injury list. Cole Strange, Kendrick Bourne, Taki, Jake Andrews on the PUP, and Antonio Gibson on the active non-football injury list. All 5 players can be removed anytime, clearing the way for them to begin practicing. I heard that Gibson was out there, and I think Mayo had said something. I caught his press conference on the first day of training camp last week that they expect him to be back hopefully this week at some point. But outside of those guys, let me just go through some of the tweets that I had shared to you throughout the week, just keeping up some of these Pats beat reporters and stuff. On day one of training camp, Mayo said they were going to put out the best 5 players out on the offensive line. Starting O-line in camp for day one was Okafor at left tackle, Sidi Sow at left guard, David Andrews at center, Micah Onwenu at right guard, and right tackle was Calvin Anderson. Caden Wallace, the Penn State guy, the rookie from this year that we got in the 4th round pick. I keep saying Penn State, and I think it's Texas A&M. Whatever fucking school it was, I don't care. He's a Patriot now. He was the top replacement at right tackle, so he might get in there a lot earlier than we expect. But that's a good thing, good sign that Mayo trusts him like that. In other news, we'll move over to the wide receivers. These guys are a bunch of dogs. They're also insane. Yeah. I don't think this is talked about or going to be talked about enough. Javon Baker and Jalen Polk are actually insane. And they have heard everything this offseason. They're hearing it all. I shared this tweet to you earlier in the week on day one of training camp, I think it was, or it might have been going into the weekend. I think ESPN ranked the pass catching groups of all 32 teams, and they had the Patriots at 32 out of 32 with Jalen Polk right on the cover. And he posted it on his Instagram, and he said, "Y'all screenshot this and remember it." Right before the year. Javon Baker made, I wish I had the video right now, but I hope you saw it. You were looking at it. Oh. Made an absolute unbelievable circus catch yesterday. I think it was yesterday, or it might have been, because they were off Saturday. And the best news of it all, Drake May looks like an absolute fucking stud. And what did we say last week? We knew this was going to happen. He looks incredible. Some of the balls that he is throwing in there, the one, he had a 50-yard bomb to Jalen Polk, like right at the corner of the end zone that he placed perfectly. He's just been throwing dots. He threw an unbelievable ball to Keyshawn Butte over Christian Gonzalez, I think, at training camp yesterday. Beautiful ball right over where only the wide receiver could have it. I don't think we ever were worrying about his arm talent or where he can place the ball. It was always the one biggest concern with him coming out of the draft was his footwork. And it's, if you compare, now granted, yes, it is training camp. This isn't live action. But if you compare some of the footwork of his last year at Carolina to now his first week of NFL training camp, it is a night and day difference. He's moving his feet great. And now I think since that's getting, fixed, I think all we really need to worry about at this point with him is being able to make the reads, read an NFL pro-ready defense.
Yeah.
And it's only been 4 or 5 days in training camp, but I won't lie. I've seen a lot of fucking people saying, could Drake May start week 1? A lot of people, where obviously we talked about this last week. We think, and Mayo had said going into last week's episode, yes, Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starter. And then yesterday came out and said it could actually be a fight for QB1 for week 1. So Drake May is doing everything right, impressing so much. What do you have to say about the offense, the young guys, how we're looking so far this week, and what you've seen of the first week of training camp for the Pats?
Well, regarding footwork, obviously seeing him just throw off that back foot, yes, his arm strength, he showed it off at Carolina, but yet comparing him to, we had another first round quarterback, didn't we? A couple of years ago, that was supposed to be the savior. Didn't we draft a quarterback a few years ago? What was his name?
Bum Jones?
Bum Jones, yes.
Yeah, Bum Jones.
Yeah, I forgot him. I always hated.
I know. Hold on. I know that was a bit for a second, but after you said, I honestly forgot. I wiped the memory. It took me a second to even think of Mac, but I was like, "Oh shit, that's who he's." Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I always hated how Mac threw off, or not even like off that back foot. You know how his back foot always seemed to come up, or he just had a weird kind of motion with his feet. It was, I think, a lot of front foot push and arm, while you obviously see Drake being able to drive off of that back foot and just be able to throw a much catchable, deeper ball than Mac ever could.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm absolutely loving, especially with the interesting thing in all this, is we were so high on Demario Douglas and being in the slot, you know, with the ability to drive the ball downfield. I think the offense and Alex Van Pelt's offense might be completely different.
Yeah, a little more vertical than you'd think.
Yeah.
And
probably going into it. Yeah.
I'm happy you mentioned Demario because he's been fucking lighting it up too, apparently.
Yeah. But yet, I think the Alex Van Pelt's offense was going to be more of the West Coast, you know, dunks, little under the middle kind of thing, what have you. But I think when he's looking at Drake's arm strength and then having Jalen Polk be able to go vertical, which will open up Javon Baker, which now I'm very upset that I didn't get him in my fantasy as well.
What did I say, man? I told you I was all over Javon Baker, and his stock is going crazy.
Yep.
But I don't think Polk's going vertical. This is how I see it. So Demario was our slot guy last year, and with his size, it makes the most sense. But in terms of pure fit in an offensive scheme, I think Polk is
medium,
more of the slot guy. I think Polk will be the slot. I think Baker will be the second guy to come out and be the X. We'll start off the year, as long as he's healthy, with Kendrick Bourne out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then opposite of him, as the other outside receiver, will be Demario. I don't know how much I like Demario on the outside, but I like him enough because of his speed to be able to get some separation. He's not going to be the guy, you know, you're not throwing it up to him. You know, you're just looking for him to be that guy on the outside to give you some burners. But you really only need one, you know, go up and get it guy. And if that's going to be Bourne up until it's Baker, I think we can make do with that. But I'm just super excited about Javon Baker and everything that he does this year. I hope he gets involved early because, you know, we went through our predictions, and, you know, we'll probably do another record prediction coming up here soon with training camp being done and everything after we see the team. But in terms of, you know, what we thought was going to be a 7-10 team that I think we both came out to, or I think you said 8-9, the first one we did. In terms of having us like compete a little longer, I think Javon Baker would be best for our offense if he gets going early, and we can rely on him early as an offensive weapon. Especially now if him and Drake May and Polk are just going to have this chemistry, this rookie chemistry. Now I know Polk and May definitely already have that. You can see it in the balls that they're throwing, but also in all the time that they were hanging out with each other in the offseason, as the first round and second round pick would, you would hope. But I think Baker's also going to gain that trust of Drake pretty early. And maybe if it is something where Jacoby does still start, like we said, weeks 1 to 3, 1 to 4 maybe, and then we bring in Drake. If it doesn't turn out that Javon is making an impact in the first couple weeks, I think once we bring in that youth movement of starting Drake May, that's when Javon will also come in here. That's when Polk is really going to, you know, get out of his shell. And that's when maybe, like you're saying, the AVP offense gets a little different. Then maybe we run a little more wide receivers. We get a little more pass heavy and see what we can do downfield.
Yeah, so I think, unfortunately, and I think Jacoby is absolutely the brilliant choice of the management team to bring back and to mentor. But when you look at the two quarterbacks' strengths, they're almost opposite. You don't have the same type of quarterback, as your one and your backup. Their style and what they could do. Obviously, Drake is just have this beautiful deep ball, and Jacoby, yeah,
Going to be more of your short to intermediate guy.
yeah. I think he could throw long and deep, but yet he's going to be your dunk off short, medium, which could be the way that Alex feels comfortable at the beginning of the season. But yet, do you want to go after, if you go 1-4 to start off the year and then you bring in Drake, I mean, your whole offense has to change. And do you want to do that in week 5?
I mean, I don't even know if that's something we can really say yet, because, I think it's really, these are just one of these teams we're going to have to sit and wait.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have to sit and wait and see. And we could also be jumping the gun completely. It's been 5 days of training camp. However, we got 2.5 more weeks of this and then preseason. We can say all we want about how we think this team's going to play out in the training camp, but until we see live action in the preseason, then those snaps are really going to matter. It's going to be very interesting to see how we divvy up those snaps in the preseason.
I was just going to say that. I think an interesting point will be preseason game number 1. Who's your quarterback under center?
Honestly, I think, and I don't know if Mayo would want to go along with this too, but
Bailey Zappi?
Fuck no. He's actually, Joe Milton overtook him.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just going to be Drake and Joe Milton for week 1. I don't even think Jacoby plays. I don't think Jacoby plays until maybe the first, if in fact it does turn out that like you get through the first 2 preseason games and Drake's looking good, but he's not looking great, then I think Jacoby will play the last preseason game. He'll play a quarter or he'll play a half, and then you'll throw Drake May in there for the 3rd, Joe Milton in there for the 4th. And then that's how you're going to roll into the new year. And that's fine. We are forgetting we're playing in Cincinnati at 1 p.m. week 1. So even if Drake May looks like a game changer, that's a fucking tough week 1 game. Yes. And the last thing I would want to do is throw him out there into week 1 against a good defense and just kill his confidence early. And then we're on an uphill battle all year. Then we're going to fall into almost Mac Jones territory. Now, granted, him and Mac Jones are different players. I think mentally too, Drake can definitely get over it and get over the hump way easier, way faster than Mac did. And we do have more weapons around him than we gave Mac in 2020 when he came out. But, you want to put your rookie quarterback, regardless of the team, regardless of the makeup of the team, you want to put him in the best position that you can. All right. So
here is per MSN.com sports 5 performances of note in the 4th training camp practice. Starts off with Drake May, 3rd overall selection in this year's draft, had plenty of positive moments through the first 3 practices of the summer. His 4th wasn't necessarily bad either, but it showed why May still has a ways to go before overtaking Jacoby Brissett as the starting quarterback. Next, Javon Baker. Javon Baker put on a show Sunday. The 4th round draft pick looked good on both one-on-ones and team drills, constantly getting open and making several receptions. The session was another step in the right direction for Baker. He was limited with a fractured thumb during the offseason.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Another note, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Cut him.
Another underwhelming day. Lost both on one-on-ones and was an afterthought in team drills.
Let me pause here because I need to make a point about Juju. I have actually. Let me send here. Let me just show this to you because this is one I saw this and it made me realize he needs to go. Let me know when you're looking at this. I just shared it with you.
Okay.
This is a great pass from Drake. The comment literally says, Drake May drops it in Juju Smith's spread basket, dime, and Juju drops it. Beautiful ball by Drake. Right in there and drops the shit.
Yeah.
I used that because I responded and I said, just cut him already. Somebody who doesn't know ball responded to me and said, no, bro, we pay him too much. That would be so dumb. So then I got big NFL GME on him. And I said, yes. So continue to keep him on the roster and have him not contribute, but still pay him, or eat the dead cap and use the roster spot for somebody who could actually contribute more. I'll take the cut. And then I even showed him, with it being a post-June 1st release, we would actually save $647,000 in 2024. We would save a lot more money, like next year. You know, we wouldn't have to pay this dead cap, the dead cap of almost $12 million between the 2 years. But we had money coming into free agency. We didn't spend it all. And I don't anticipate us doing it before the start of the year. There's no guys that I've been hearing us link to or anything like that. Cut the fucking guy. Yeah. Juju was a terrible he was a terrible signing when we signed him. It wasn't a smart signing. It was a get back at, it was one of Bill's last moves to be like, you know, Jacoby Myers wasn't good enough, but we'll go get this Juju Smith-Schuster guy. They both signed similar contracts, and Jacoby has outperformed him every fucking way so far throughout these contracts. Juju signing was terrible. It was terrible when it happened. It looks even worse now. And I think Mayo needs to make a stand as the head coach and be like, you know, we're not going to sit by and just keep guys because of them coming in under the Belichick regime. This guy needs to go. Let's bring in, like we're saying, this youth movement, even if it keeps a guy who, and like I know we've said, who was it? I literally just blanked. Oh, Kayshon Boutte. Last year.
Oh, Kayshon. Yep.
Taekwon's going to make it anyways. He's going to make the roster. It's Kayshon, really. I think it's going to come down to Jalen Reagor, Juju, and Kayshon. I think Jalen's probably going to stay because of his special teams contribution. I mean, that's what he did last year. He wasn't really even, he was listed as a wide receiver, but he was only there as like a return specialist, and he might be our second return specialist behind Marcus Jones. I think this gives you the opportunity, get rid of Juju, and keep the space for Kayshon Boutte, who
I agree.
had a pretty bad first year, and yes, the whole gambling thing and all that shit or whatever it was. But he's still young enough, and he was still, dude, this guy was still like a number one fucking guy at LSU. He's a 5-star high school prospect. He was supposed to be the shit. Like, I would much rather pay him at the nothing that we're paying him and keep him on the roster spot and get rid of Juju and hope that he can pan out. And if he doesn't, you're paying him fucking like $600,000 or some shit. I don't know. Then you get rid of him next year.
On his rookie deal.
And that's fine. But I would just hate if we end up like cutting him, because I could totally see it happening. It's one of those LSU receivers again. It's LSU's like a wide receiver factory at some points, man. I could totally see it happening where, you know, you cut him, some other team's going to go sign him, take a flyer on him, and then what do you know? He is a breakout guy at the end of the year for like Washington or something because they don't have anybody else in Washington. Or the Chargers, yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to take that risk, but I know damn well if we release Juju Smith-Schuster, he's not going out there and he's not turning back into that number one guy that he was with Pittsburgh in 2019 if we get rid of him now.
I agree. Two more positional players. I'm not going to say this guy's name off the bat. Hunter Henry is the Patriots' number one tight end, but this guy is not too far behind in terms of offensive involvement. On Sunday, he was quite busy. The free agent acquisition caught a team high 4 passes on 7 and 7 and 11 and 11, including a diving catch to haul in a deep pass attempt from Jacoby. The quarterback clearly trusts Austin Hooper. As you shake your head,
I don't think Austin Hooper's good.
I Austin.
I know you do.
And the other guy here that I had mentioned as hopefully your number 2, Alex Austin. The second-year cornerback continues to make a strong case for himself as a top backup at the position. At one point, Austin broke up a deep one-on-one pass from Drake intended for Juju, which we just saw. In addition, the Patriots also gave him some opportunities in the slot where he broke up a pass attempt for KJ Osborne.
That's another. Oh, yeah. Even more reason why Juju has to go. I completely forgot about KJ Osborne. He's going to take up a spot.
Yep.
I mean, it's Jalen, it's Javon, it's KJ, it's Kendrick, it's Tyquan.
DeMario, you forgot him.
It's DeMario. That's already 6. See, Kayshawn might not even make it. Because then if you keep 2 more, Jalen and Kayshawn, that's 8 wide receivers. Granted, one of them's just a return guy, but 7 wide receivers. I don't know if you're holding that many.
No.
So yeah, or at least, still just cut Juju and just cut Juju. That's all. That's all I really care about.
Because
and then put fucking Kayshawn in like the practice squad or something.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll make the practice squad. I wonder if you don't. I wonder if you
make the practice.
Well, no, but yet we just said teams would be able to grab him.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if you do something where you keep him and you cut Jalen or Ruger or whatever,
Rager.
and hope that he ends up clearing waivers. You can get him back on the practice, and then you send, at that point, Kayshawn Boutte down to practice, and then.
Yeah, I like that. I think Jalen, I don't think he gets picked up. So
no, I don't either.
Yeah.
So now I just saw this today. 2 more points on Patriots, current and former. I just saw this morning. Christian Barmore has been absent. Barmore because of blood clots.
Yeah, that was new news yesterday.
Hope he
gets better. No. I mean, I don't know much about blood clots, but I know he won't be like playing right away or anything. But
I think we needed him in the interior.
Oh, I mean 100%. I don't think I'm concerned when you say concerned, like I'm not concerned long term. I mean, he won't play possibly this year, or at least I'd think for the first 6 games, maybe 8. Like I said, I don't know the timeline on how like blood clots work, but long term, no, I don't think this is like career ending or anything.
No, I don't think it's career ending, but I think immediate. And I wonder if this then brings back Lawrence Guy.
Potentially, he is still a free agent. But let me look. I'm just looking at the depth chart here. I mean, they're looking at Armin Watts behind him, or Daniel Ikule, nose tackle behind Godchow. Or, I mean, no, I think what you just do at this point then is... See, it's crazy. We've got enough depth that you can make this work. Yeah, you might re-sign a guy like Lawrence Guy, but he's going to be more of your like nose tackle guy. Barmore was playing right defensive end. I think this just moves probably Keon White to the right defensive end. Deatrice Wise goes back up to the left end, starting left end where he was and felt comfortable last year. Or you can even have something in which you're moving. Well, Uche's already starting. Anthony Jennings maybe off the side.
I was
He's
gonna
the
say
one.
Anthony.
He's second on the depth chart behind Judon right here. I think maybe he comes off the right side, right defensive end, and you can make that work too. It really I guess it just depends on Barmore. We'll have to hear some news and see what they plan on doing with him. It is saying he's out indefinitely, and there is no timetable for his return. Let me see. NFL players blood clots timeline. Let's see if there's anybody that this happened recently. I don't even know how to find this.
Well, while you look that up, I had seen this morning a post, I think it was on my Facebook that I was just scrolling through. I guess Kyle Shanahan put out a offer for Bill Belichick to join his staff. And Bill declined it and said that he was more interested in
like broadcasting?
helping Steve and the Washington Huskies.
Well, that's kind of cool. I did see the thing about the offer. I think it's kind of funny how we don't hear about it until now.
Yeah.
Because that's had to be months now, like 2, 3. That must have been like right away. But I do think it's funny to hear about it now. That would have been crazy though.
Yeah.
I mean, I like, I root for the Niners. Not anywhere as like a bandwagon thing, but Josh's team is the Niners. I like the Niners in the NFC. I think they're cool. I wouldn't mind seeing the Niners get a ring. I got no beef against them. But it would have made it even easier to root for him if Bill was also on that staff. I haven't found anything NFL-wise, but it does say as far as just normal return to action, it can take weeks or months to totally dissolve. Even a surface clot, which is even a very minor issue, can take weeks to go away. So, I mean, at absolute best case scenario, I don't think we see him till probably week 2. Worst case scenario, it's probably not till like week 8, week 10.
Well, I think, he starts obviously on the PUP list, which would be at least a minimum 6
It would
weeks.
it would be NFI. Yeah. But I think NFI is still 6. I think PUP's 4.
Bro, okay. I thought PUP was 6, but
it might also be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
things may have changed as well.
They might have. All right. Well, that's all I got about the Pats. You got anything else here?
No. You want to jump into trivia?
Yeah, let's do this quick.
All right. Since football coming back, we're going to do the NFL Hall of Fame quarterback name match. We got 35 guesses. We have 4 minutes.
All right. It is matching the first and last name of every quarterback in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That was it?
Yep.
You just scrolled past it. Play quiz is at the top there.
I know. I'm getting there. I'm moving. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, okay.
Okay, right, so we got the first names.
Let's go from last names down. So go find Troy Aikman, and then we'll move from there.
All right, Troy Aikman. Let's do Sammy Baugh.
George
Blanda.
Right.
Here's George.
There he is.
Blanda.
And then Terry Bradshaw. Oh, we can move through this.
Bradshaw.
Clark.
Here, let's go. Len Dawson.
Yeah. Go John Elway.
John Elway.
Brett Favre.
Where's Brett? Brett Favre.
Dan Fouts.
This one's a good one. Otto Graham.
Nice. Bob Greasy. Looking at
this one's good. Sony
Sonny Jurgensen.
Yep.
Yeah. Jim
this
Kelly.
one's good. Oh, why am I saying Jim?
Yeah, why are you going Joe?
Jim Kelly.
Peyton Manning right there. This is that's a really easy row. Then you got Dan Marino, Joe Montana, and Warren Moon. We got Joe Namath. That was Ken Stabler. Damn. Bart Starr.
Where's Bart?
Bart, second.
Oh, right here. Yep.
Yeah. Roger Staubach. Then you got Fred Tarkenton. Fran. Y.A. Tittle.
Yep.
Johnny Unitas. I don't know who the fuck Van Brocklin is.
Norm Van Blocken. Yep.
Okay. Kurt Warner.
Warner.
Steve Young. Now we got all these ones.
Sid Lockman.
Sid Luckman. There we go. All right. Arnie. Who's Arnie?
Oh, wait a minute. Bobby Lane.
Bobby Lane. Yep. Nice. Now I'm just trying to piece together these names if I know I've heard them. But like some of these, all these could work.
Yeah.
You know, like a Jimmy Clark or like a John Clark or Clarence Ace. We've got to know who's that. Do you know it? Ace Driscoll?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Incorrect. We have 6 guesses, though.
Oh,
shit. You got to get them. Ace. Did you already do Friedman?
No.
Oh, man.
Are
we going to get
right.
We're going to get cooked on this? Right.
Benny Friedman. Yes.
Nice. Let's go. All right. Arnie.
Oh, we got 40
Konzelman?
seconds.
I don't know.
No.
Oh, fuck. We got
Arnie
2
Clark.
guesses. Wait. All right. No. One guess. Arnie. It's either Parker, Waterfield, or Driscoll. I don't know if it's Parker. I don't know. We could do it. Fuck it.
No. Oh.
All right. Damn. Oh, it doesn't even tell you. Well, it doesn't even actually match them up here, so we don't know which ones were correct.
Arnie
it does.
Harbor.
Bob Waterfield. Okay. Ace Parker.
Earl Clark.
Yep.
And
Johnny Driscoll and Jimmy Konzelman. Is that the last one we're missing? Any day now.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, hey, I mean, dude, average score 66. We nailed 29 out of 35. I think we got every single one that I thought we probably could have got. Those 7 that we left, I couldn't have got those in a million years. Or probably 8 because you got the one. I can't even remember who you did at the end there, but that wasn't too bad.
No. And you thought it was going to be, yeah.
I thought it was going to be too easy, but I didn't know that's the format it was doing it in. But that's cool.
That was fun.
All right. Well done, Dad. You got anything else here before I wrap us up and get out of episode 30 here? Sorry, I just got a work message already, so we're getting the day rolling.
Yeah, no. Again, listeners, thank you so much seeing us over the 600 download mark. We appreciate you guys constantly listen to us. New listeners coming on. Yeah, this has just been a blast for 30 episodes. And I think originally we thought maybe a break here in July because we weren't sure what the Red Sox were doing. And come on, let's make a splash. Medium splash at the best. Red Sox at the deadline. And let's keep it rolling. And football is right around the corner.
Right around the corner. I'm so excited. We have more to talk about. Not only just NFL, but college football is now less than 30 days away. Isn't that exciting?
Mm-hmm. That is.
Hall of Fame game on Thursday, right? It's this Thursday?
Yeah, August 1st. Yep.
Yeah, I saw a nice thing on Thursday saying from somebody on Twitter. There's a guy being like, "This is my last Thursday without football tweet until February," which was an awesome thing to hear. So yeah, Hall of Fame game on Thursday. So that means actual preseason game start in 2 weeks or next week. We'll finally be able to see Drake May and the Pats and see what we got this year. And yeah, just excited to get into another football season. Excited to keep going. This has been a fun first 30, and can't wait to do another 30 more and another 30 more on top of that. All right. Well, we thank you guys for listening to episode 30. Appreciate your constant support and your constant listens and downloads. If you would like to get a hold of us, at A New Era Podcast on Instagram, at A New Era Podcast on Twitter, A New Era Podcast on Facebook, A New Era Podcast at gmail.com. If you'd like to email us for any questions, comments, concerns, or funny business, we'd love to hear from you and bring it up on the pod. And with that being said, we will catch you guys next week for episode 31. Go Sox.
Love you, son.
Love you, Dan.